Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex. Welcome to my monthly video on the best new editions of board games coming to retail. In this video, you'll find three types of games. There are new editions of older games where they've updated the artwork, the components, things like that. There are re-implementations of older games, sometimes taking a game, giving it a new theme, but maintaining the same mechanisms, same gameplay. And you're also going to find new games in an established series of games. So, as always, I hope you find something that you're excited about in this video. Before we get into the games, though, I have an exciting announcement. I just had a new comedy special come out. I'm sure some of you know that I'm a professional comedian, and some of you don't know that I do that as well, because I've been talking about board games on my channel so much. But I've been a comedian for a long time, and I would love you to check out this special. It is on drybarcomedy.com. I'll put information in the description of the video. But Drybar is the biggest brand in sort of clean comedy. So this is a special you can watch with anybody, with all ages, that sort of stuff. It's funny for everyone. The special is called Silly Mustache Man. I wonder why. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out, and I would love for you to check it out. You can actually do it for free. If you use the promo code GrantLion, you can get a month subscription free on Drybar, and you can check out the special. You can check out any other special too. So, you know, it's you can check it out, you can watch it and support. I even threw a board game joke on the special. I wanted to give a nod, a tip of the cap to this community that I love so much. So I put a board game joke on the special. So again, I'll put more information in the description and stuff, but thank you for going to check out my new special, Silly Mustache Man. Alright, getting into the games for the month. As I mentioned in my last videos, with Gen Con at the start of August, August is a huge month for retail releases. So we've got like 25 new editions coming to retail this month. First up, and I do these just in sort of alphabetical order of the publisher. First up this month, 25th Century Games is releasing a new edition of Circus Flohcati. Circus Flohcati is designed by the famous designer Reiner Knizia and originally came out in like 1998, so it's been around for a long time, and there have been a number of editions of it. This maintains the same gameplay, but has updated art, updated components, just sort of a new look to the game. Plays 2 to 5 players in about 15 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. It is a push your luck card game. You are trying to get 3 cards of the same value in your hand, and if you do that, you can play them down 4 points. But you're flipping over cards into a row to then draft the cards into your hand, and if you flip over a card that is the same as anything in the row, you bust, your turn is over, you don't get anything. And so you're just constantly trying to push your luck with flipping the cards and trying to get sets and matches and things like that in your hand. So if you like, quick playing card games, then this one might be for you, and I feel like when a game has been around for almost 25 years, then you're like, all right, well, this must be a pretty good game because it keeps getting reprinted and people keep doing it, so that makes me trust it a little bit. 25th Century Games is also releasing the game Witchcraft. This is a re-implementation of the game Resist. And now it has a different theme, sort of same mechanisms, but different theme, and, different special abilities on the cards and things like that. So Resist was a game, a solo-only game, and Witchcraft is a solo-only game as well. Plays 20 to 40 minutes, and it is a medium-weight game. In Resist, you were a band of resistance fighters trying to take back your homeland, and in Witchcraft, you are playing as a coven of witches trying to prove your innocence and protect the townsfolk from other supernatural bad things. So you're actually you're witches, but you're like good witches in this game. So yeah, if you liked Resist or if you hadn't tried it and this theme speaks to you more, then check it out. One of the cool things about Witchcraft and Resist is all the cards have sort of two sides of them. You can play them as the hidden side, or you can play them as the revealed side. And the revealed side is stronger. You're getting a better ability for playing the card revealed. But once it's revealed, you lose the card and you have to do things to get it back, but it's not that easy to get it back. You know, you might be the only time you use the card in the game. If you play it as the hidden side, well, you'll get a weaker ability, but you'll get to keep the card in your deck. And so that's an interesting push and pull in the game of how do you want to play your cards. So yeah, if you want a solo game, check out Witchcraft. Asmodee, in association with Bombix and Matago, are releasing Takenokolor. This is a sort of re-implementation of the Takenoko game, Takenoko, where you're stacking bamboo pieces and it's got a fun three-dimensionality to it, and it's a, family weight game. Takenokolor is a roll and write version of Takenoko. Plays 2 to 4 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. Each turn, one player is going to throw 4 colored pencils and then choose one and then use that colored pencil to fill in some of the bamboo stocks on their boards. And then everybody else gets to choose one of the remaining colored pencils out there. There are multiple sheets in the game, and the first one is very basic, could play young children, and then they get more complex. So if you like the idea of having different sheets and versions of the game for a roll and write, then maybe this one is for you. Or if you like Takenoko or that sort of stuff, then check this one out. Asmodee, in association with Giotto Uniti, is releasing Kingsburg 3rd edition. Kingsburg came out 15 years ago or something like that, and it's one of these sort of grandfathers of the dice placement mechanism. It's one of the games that sort of started dice placement. I feel like that's how people talk about it. Plays 2 to 5 players in 90 to 120 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. This 3rd edition includes sort of an updated rule book to help you get into the game. It includes the best expansion modules that have been developed since the 1st edition, such as the soldier tokens, the governor cards, the extra buildings. It includes new artwork that has been restyled. The components have been redesigned to make it a more modern, sort of better game. Kingsburg is a great dice placement game. It's a game I've played where you are placing dice down to influence different, I don't know what they're called, the King's Council, they're members of and everybody in the council is going to get you different special abilities. Some people are going to help you do one thing, other people are going to help you do the other thing. So you're kind of fighting for influence control on these different special abilities, and then using the special abilities to, to do things like allocate your soldiers and get different advantages and get resources, that sort of stuff. So if you like dice placement, Kingsburg is a good one, and now it's got a 3rd edition. So if you haven't played either of the first 2 editions, this is probably a better way to jump into it. Asmodee, in association with CMON, is releasing Marvel United Multiverse Core Box. I do a number of videos in this retail series: best new games coming to retail, best expansions coming to retail, and then this new editions video. And I talked about a number of the Marvel United expansions in the expansion video, but you don't have to have those expansions. You can just get this Marvel United Multiverse box if that's all you want. Marvel United is a lighter weight game set in the Marvel Universe IP. It is a cooperative game where each superhero has their own special abilities and their own superpowers, and you're working together to defeat a villain. So some of the, getting these extra boxes is just adding more superheroes and adding more villains, so there's more replayability in who you want to play as and who you want to play against. This is sort of the third core box. There was the original Marvel United, then there was the Marvel United X-Men, and now there's this Multiverse, which is just adding new characters, same gameplay as all the other Marvel United stuff, but adding new characters, both superheroes and villains that you can fight against. So if you're, and these are all kind of coming from the Multiverse universe. So if you're excited about more content from Marvel United, or you haven't played it before, you just like Marvel stuff, or you like cooperative games, then this is a good way. There's a ton of content for Marvel United, so if you do jump in for the first time, it is a deep rabbit hole to go down if you would like to, but you could also just buy this one box, and that's all you need, and you can play the game and enjoy it for just that. Asmodee and Days of Wonder are releasing Ticket to Ride, Iberia, and South Korea. I didn't really realize when I put this, I have a spreadsheet where I keep all the information of all the different types of games coming out and that sort of stuff, and I thought that this was a new version of Ticket to Ride because they are releasing new versions of Ticket to Ride decently regularly, and a lot of them are focused on cities or smaller places. Rather than Ticket to Ride Europe, it's Ticket to Ride San Francisco or something like that. So this game, Ticket to Ride Iberia and South Korea, actually should have been in the expansions video. I'm sorry I messed that up because I noticed when I was doing research for this video that it says this is not a standalone game. It requires an original copy of Ticket to Ride or Ticket to Ride Europe to play. So this is an expansion that I'm mentioning here in this video because I put it in the wrong video. But this does have, new maps. There's Iberia and South Korea. And with the different maps, a lot of times they come with a little twist to the game. If you don't know Ticket to Ride, it's one of the best family weight games. It's one of the best introduction to strategy games where you are building train routes out on the board and then scoring points by building specific routes. So this, we have the two different maps. The Iberian Peninsula map, where you are the lively streets of Barcelona to the festive squares of Seville. Collect and maximize sets of festival cards as your network expands. And then also the South Korea map offers a unique twist in how routes are organized. So if you want a couple of new maps for Ticket to Ride, you can do that here with this one. And sorry, it's in the wrong video. That's an expansion to Ticket to Ride. Bezier Games is releasing Seers Catalog, and this is Seers like the character, the seer in all their werewolf games. And so this is a re-implementation of the card shedding, sort of trick-taking game of What's Left, but has a new theme and has new art and all of that sort of stuff. It plays 2 to 5 players in 30 to 45 minutes, and it is a, lighter weight, but high end of lighter weight or low end of medium weight game, because it is a card game. It is a small box card game. And if you like trick-taking games, if you like ladder climbing, shedding games, that sort of stuff, then you might like this one. The sort of twist of the game is that you are trying to get rid of cards from your hand by playing them out, but the first player to get rid of all of their cards actually scores 0 points, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's kind of a medium thing in this game because you can have negative points as well, because each card is worth -1, but if you have 5 or fewer cards in your hand, the lowest value on those cards is worth positive points. So, if you have 2 cards, but your lowest one is 5 points, then you're actually going to score 3 points for the round. And so you can have positive points, but you can also have negative points if you have a bunch of cards left over in your hand. So that's an interesting, that interesting twist of like, first goes out, gets 0. 0 sounds bad, but it's not always the worst. You know, sometimes it's okay to have a 0 round so you're not having a negative round. So yeah, if you like, you know, different card games, then check out Seers Catalog. Board and Dice is releasing Side Quest Frostpunk. And, you know, the way I put the games in these different videos, there's not an exact science to it. You know, I don't know if Side Quest Frostpunk should be in this new editions video or if it should have been in my regular board games video. It plays 1 to 4 players in 60 to 90 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. It is an escape room style game set in the world of Frostpunk. So that's what I mean, where it's like, it's not Frostpunk, but it's connected to Frostpunk. So do you call it sort of a new game in the Frostpunk line, or is it just it is a standalone game. If you like escape room style game, this is an exciting puzzle game from the authors of the Escape Tales series set in the immersive world of Frostpunk. So, you know, it's going to have engaging puzzles that you got to figure out. It's going to have a storyline to it. It's going to have difficult decisions where you're trying to, you're testing your creativity, perceptiveness, ability to think outside the box. So again, if you like escape room style games, if you like puzzle games, if you like the world of Frostpunk, all of those might be reasons to check out Side Quest Frostpunk. Blue Orange Games is releasing Next Station Paris. This plays 1 to 4 players in about 30 minutes, and it is a lighter weight game, but at the higher end of lighter weight. Next Station Paris is the new game in a line of games. They had Next Station London and Next Station Tokyo, and then this is the third one. All of the games in the Next Station series are kind of roll and write games, but no dice rolling, where you are building routes on your map, and you're doing it with different colored pencils. And so you're flipping cards. I don't even know if you're flipping them. There's cards out in the row, and you are using those different cards to build a route, and you're going to score points for different ways that you are building your route. The Next Station London game was sort of the intro to this series, like in terms of complexity. Next Station Tokyo was a bigger step up in difficulty and strategy, and from what I can tell, this one sort of slots into the middle of those in terms of like complexity and strategy. Not as simple as Next Station London, but not as difficult as Next Station Tokyo. So if you like flip and write games, if you like colored pencils, if you like building routes, then check out Next Station Paris. Capstone Games is releasing the game Pirates of Maracaibo. This is a bit of a reimplementation of the game Maracaibo. Maracaibo, a pirate-themed Euro-y type of game. This one, Pirates of Maracaibo, plays 1 to 4 players in 40 to 100 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. It is sort of like a streamlined, faster, more card-based version of Maracaibo. But, it's not just like the card version. There's still a board and still a bunch of stuff, so it's not like you're just, sometimes games have released like card versions of the games or dice versions of the games. I'm looking at you, Terraforming Mars. But, this is not that pared down, but it is a streamlined, faster version of Maracaibo, designed by Alexander Pfister. In this one, and so I should note that this is, if it wasn't clear, a standalone game. You don't ever have had to have played Maracaibo to play this game. You could jump into this and enjoy it and never think about Maracaibo again. Don't think about Maracaibo. Think about Pirates of Maracaibo. And so in this one of the interesting things, you are sort of moving across the board area, but there's no board, and along that sort of area are islands where you're going to get special abilities, and then there's cards where you can like get special abilities, and the islands are going to remain the same and sort of be these static stationary waypoints that you can get to if you need to, but then the cards will sort of, new cards will come out throughout the game and sort of, you know, change the special abilities that are associated with that spot if you want to land on that spot. And then you're trying to get to Maracaibo at the end, and you'll play 3 rounds of that. And so, you know, the special abilities are going to allow you to sail, they're going to allow you to hire crew, they're going to allow you to ally with other ships, they're going to allow you to amass treasure, they're going to allow you to explore the shores, all that sort of stuff you're getting as you're stopping at places along the way until you retire to a secluded island as the most revered pirate in history. So, yeah, if you like Euro games, then check out Pirates of Maracaibo. CGE is releasing Little Alchemists. This is a re-implementation of their game Alchemists that makes it more family weight friendly. Plays 2 to 4 players in 20 to 40 minutes, and it is, you know, a lighter weight game, but I'm gonna, you know, pause on that, actually, the weight of it, because one of the interesting things of the game is that there are 7 chapters in it, and you can make it way more difficult. Each chapter sort of scales up the complexity. So the very first chapter, you can play with like 7-year-olds, but if you get to the 7th chapter, well, it makes it more of a medium weight family style game. So yeah, maybe your 7-year-old could play it if they sort of played each chapter along the way and scaled up with it. But, you know, the sort of 7th chapter probably too hard for a 7-year-old to just jump into right away. Those things are, you know, you're going to literally be adding sections to your boards. You're going to be doing all this sort of unlocking content as you move up the chapters in the game. Thematically, you are, alchemist apprentices brewing potions and working on discovering the secrets of alchemy. There is an app associated with this, and so you're just trying to gather and combine ingredients for brewing potions to sell. And so the app is like, oh, what if I combine this one and this one? What's that gonna make? And so there's some color combining, so that's great for kids too, because it's like, hey, you know, if I put blue and yellow together, what's that gonna make? Oh, it's gonna make green. I learned something. Boy, I was terrified right there inside that I was gonna say the wrong color scheme and be like, I haven't learned anything. And so, yeah, if you want a family weight game that scales up and adds more content and chapters, then Little Alchemists is cool for that. Dolphin Hat Games is releasing the game Wild Wild Taco. This plays 2 to 8 players in 10 to 15 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. It is a game that's sort of re-implementing Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, which is Dolphin Hat's most famous game. And so you are taking some of the special action cards from the original game, plus adding new characters into this game with new rules. So you're going to be chanting Wild Wild Taco, playing stuff down, and then slapping, just like the original Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza game. It's still like a high energy slapping card game, but now there's different actions that you can do in the game, different silly things that it has everybody doing. So when a card played matches the one before, everyone does the corresponding action and races to slap the pile. So this is definitely like a silly family weight game, plays young kids if you want something that has some energy for your kids. Exploding Kittens is releasing the game Zombie Burrito. This is a re-implementation of their game Throw Burrito. Throw Burrito was a kind of real-time game where you were passing cards around the table trying to get different sets, and then certain sets would cause you to duel where you were throwing burritos at other people. They're like these squishy foam burritos that are very addicting to squish. They feel very good in your hand, but it was like a dodgeball style game where you were literally throwing these burritos at each other. You know, big, physical, silly type of game. Well, Zombie Burrito essentially takes Throw Burrito and turns it into a team game. This is a team-based game now. And so you are either going to be playing as the zombie team or the survivors team. And you'll notice that each of those have their own burritos. So you're doing the same thing where you are, you know, trying to collect matching sets of 3 cards, and then some of those sets are going to give the survivors an ability, some of them are going to give the zombies an ability, and you're still going to throw burritos stuff at each other. But they're not just burritos now, they're zombies or they're survivors. Ha ha! Twist. There's a twist. So, you know, during a battle, you and your team can work together to try to hit the other team. Flat River Group, in association with Modifius Entertainment, is releasing a new edition of Dark Deeds. This plays 2 to 5 players in 30 to 60 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. It is a darkly humorous card game of skullduggery and suspicion. So if you like kind of dark themes, and if you like dark humor, gallows humor, that sort of stuff, then Dark Deeds might be for you. You are taking on the role of minions in service to a powerful, mysterious, and clearly villainous patron. So yeah, that dark theme. There's definitely some take that in the game and some screwing each other over, so you got to be okay with that in the game. But, you know, it's... the patron wants deeds of infamy, violence, and coercion committed, and you are the ones who must avoid the authorities, the do-gooders, and most of all, each other to perform these terrible deeds. Oh, maybe they're dark deeds, because that's the title of the game. Flat River Games, in association with Synapsis Games, is releasing a new version of Yokohama. This plays 2 to 4 players, and it is a medium weight game, but like maybe a medium plus weight game. Yokohama is a well-known and loved Euro-style worker placement game where you are doing a bunch of different things out on the board, and you know, you're playing as you're playing in the Meiji era of Yokohama, where international trade is flourishing as ambitious merchants compete to secure valuable contracts and acquire coveted imported goods. So there's a bunch of variable setup to the game that keeps it replayable. There's some network and route building. There's some grid movement mechanics. But at its core, it is a worker placement game. If you like medium weight Euros, then Yokohama is a good one. Just so you know, this new version features improved visuals and components. They've also sort of streamlined the rulebook, but all the mechanisms and the gameplay are exactly the same. They haven't changed any of the gameplay at all. They've just given it a new, fresh look and new art. You know, just bringing it into this vibrant modern age of board game art and stuff that we have these days. So if you've been a fan of Yokohama before, then this is a good one to check out. You know, Yokohama came out almost 10 years ago at this point, and so it's nice that it's getting a little refresh. Incredible Dream Studios is releasing Kinfire Delve, Callous's Lab. Kinfire Delve, this is the 3rd game in the Kinfire Delve series from Incredible Dream Studios. All of the games in the series play 1 or 2 players. You can play it cooperatively between 2 players or solo game, and they are medium weight games that play in about an hour. And I really like the Kinfire Delve system. You are essentially playing as a character, and that character does have special ability, but you are working together or by yourself to defeat sort of challenges, and the rewards are often things like delving through the deck. You are trying to get to the bottom of a deck, and only then will you face the big bad guy to try to win the game. And so delving through the deck, like literally if you defeat a card, a challenge, then a reward might be like, get rid of 3 cards from the deck, and so you take off 3 cards and now you're closer to the bottom of the deck. One of the other cool things, that's an interesting strategic decision, but one of the other things that accomplishes is when you play the game again, it feels different all the time because you're constantly not seeing all of the cards in the deck. You're constantly burning cards off of the deck, and so you play the game again, you're going to see cards you've never seen before, that sort of stuff. It is decently difficult, you definitely... you got to play well and not make mistakes and have some dice rolls in your favor to beat the game. Every game in the series is the same mechanisms, but they come with 2 sort of protagonists that have different special abilities, and they're going to come with different challenge cards you have to beat and different options for the big bad at the end of the game. And so, it's just adding new challenges, new content, that sort of stuff. And this is the 3rd one in the series, so if you like it, you can check out other 2 and find, different challenges there as well. Keymaster Games is releasing the game Harvest. This plays 1 to 4 players in 30 to 60 minutes, and it is a medium weight Euro farming worker placement game. This is re-implementing the game Harvest that was released by Tasty Minstrel Games in 2017, and sadly, Tasty Minstrel Games is no more, and so they did a new version of the game with all new artwork. I love the artwork in the game. It's very bright, it's very cute, that sort of stuff. And if you like farming games, then this might be for you. One of the other nice things about it is this is a medium weight game, but it plays much faster than a lot of medium weight games. As I mentioned, 30 to 60 minutes. This is a worker placement game that has some meaty choices, but you can play in an hour, and that's the type that I love. Those types of games. I love strategic games that have interesting choices but still play in an hour. So from that respect, I'm excited about Harvest as well. And, again, sort of a classic farming game. You're placing your wheelbarrows. There's a bunch of sections of the board that are going to get you different benefits and resources and special abilities and all that sort of stuff. So if you like farming games, then check out Harvest from Keymaster Games. Ravensburger is releasing a new set for Disney Lorcana, their TCG. This is Shimmering Skies. And so if you don't know Lorcana at this point, it is sort of a great introduction to tradable card games. It's a little bit easier to wrap your head around for new people than like a Magic the Gathering or something like that. And it's also, focused on Disney characters, Disney artwork, all that sort of stuff. So that makes it a good sort of entry point to the world of TCGs as well. They've released multiple sets for it. This Shimmering Skies basically just introduces new cards, new characters, new special abilities, all of that stuff to the Lorcana system. As with a lot of these things, there are 2 starter decks that you can get. There are also booster packs and boxes, and there's the Illuminer's Trove, which has a bunch of content in it. So you can just get a starter deck and play it if that's all you want to do, and then there's a bunch of ways to expand it and get more content if you want more for Lorcana. There are 24 booster packs, it looks like, so definitely a lot of different content for the game. Ravensburger is releasing a new version of Horrified. This is Horrified World of Monsters. Plays 1 to 5 players in about 60 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. This is the 3rd game, I believe, in The Horrified series. There was the original Horrified, which kind of focused on monsters from the Universal movies. Dracula and the creature from the Black Lagoon and that sort of stuff. And then there was Greek monsters. No, this is the fourth one. Now I'm remembering, because there was like a Greek monsters one. And then there was like an American cryptids one. So the Greek monsters were kind of like, from like almost like Greek mythology. And then the American cryptids was like Bigfoot and stuff like that. Well, this adds new monsters here. The Sphinx, the Yeti, Jiangshi, and Cthulhu are now added to the game. Horrified is a great cooperative game where you are moving around the board, working together to defeat the different bad guys. And in each game, the bad guys have a different way to defeat them. And you're going to play as different characters that have special abilities and stuff like that. So it's, a lot of the things are pick up and deliver, moving around the map board. Or there's, there's just a lot of different ways. There's a lot of asymmetry in how the different bad guys play and how you defeat them, which is one of the reasons it's fun to explore the different versions of Horrified. One of the things that I really like about the Horrified system is it scales really well in difficulty. If you're playing with someone that's playing the game for the first time, play with two bad guys out there, and, you're still going to need to work together, but you can probably defeat two bad guys. Oh, you're playing with a bunch of very experienced people who are getting a little cocky? Play with four bad guys. Let's see if you can win that game. You can sort of customize it to the experience, which I like a lot. So if you're a fan of cooperative games, and these are truly cooperative in that if you are not working together and planning out stuff together, you're going to lose. You got to figure out turns ahead of time and figure out your strategy and all that sort of stuff. Renegade Game Studios is releasing a new version of Heroscape. One note, I did just see that Renegade put out a notice that they are sold out of this first wave stuff. It came out here in August, but it's been very popular, and I think they might be sold out of some of the content right now. But you can still pre-order for Wave 2. It did come out this month, so there might be other places that you can get it. I believe Renegade was saying that they sold out, but, it's still going to be in some stores and all that sort of stuff. So, Heroscape is a game where, it's part of it is like building the terrain. You're sort of building, they had these like interlocking hexes, and there was some three-dimensionality to it, and then you were fighting each other. And they're sort of rebooting it with a bunch of content. This is the only place I'm including it, but there's the Battle for the Wellspring set, which is great for new players. There was the Age of Annihilation Master set, which is for more experienced players. There's a bunch of expansions. There's a ton of it's not just one box they're releasing. Renegade is releasing a bunch of different content for Heroscape this month, and you can just even get new land tiles and all that sort of stuff. And so if you want it, there is a bunch of content to be had for Heroscape. Heroscape came out 20 years ago or something like that, and was discontinued almost 15 years ago. So it's cool that they are bringing it back. But just at its core, you are constructing a battlefield. There's some fun three-dimensionality and, topography with the battlefield. Then you are crafting your army, and then you are fighting each other. You're moving around, and it's kind of like, a miniatures war game, but it's a miniatures war game that's maybe more accessible than something like a Warhammer or something like that. So, yeah. Rio Grande Games is releasing a new edition of the game 5 Cucumbers. This plays 2 to 6 players in 25 minutes, and it is a lightweight trick-taking card game. It is a trick-taking game, but the twist of this trick-taking game is you don't want to be the one that wins the last trick of the round. You can either take over a trick by playing a card that is higher, or you must play your lowest card. But you're trying to plan that out because you do not want to win the last trick. So are you going to save some of your lowest cards for later and stuff like that? But also you can't just hang on to your low cards forever because you need high cards to take over key tricks and that sort of stuff. So, you're going to play a low card to take over a key trick at times. So there's an interesting push and pull of when do you play your high cards, when do you play your low cards. If you like trick-taking games, this one originally came out in 2013 and now has a new edition. Rio Grande Games is also releasing a new edition of Zooloretto. Zooloretto actually won the Spiel des Jahres in 2007. So it's a game that has been well respected for a long time, and now there's a new edition of it. 2 to 5 players in 45 minutes, and it is a higher, lighter weight game. In the game, you are using small, large, wild, and exotic animals to build out a zoo. You are, putting the same types of animals in different pens in the zoo and planning out how you're going to be placing stuff. But you can also, it's a modular board, so you can add stuff to your zoo. You can add more room for the board and stuff like that. You can add different rooms onto it so that you can put different animals out and things like that. But, if you have too many animals and you have no more room for them, that brings minus points. So, you could play this and then watch the movie We Bought a Zoo. If you're super into zoos, you can really do a whole zoo day by playing Zooloretto and watching We Bought a Zoo. I don't know how We Bought a Zoo. There's some real stream of consciousness in these videos that I do. A thought pops into my head, and sometimes I just say it, and I don't even know why I did. Steve Jackson Games is releasing Car Wars 2-player starter set, orange and purple. This is part of the 6th edition of Car Wars. Car Wars has been around for a long time, and as many editions, as you can hear. There are 6 editions of Car Wars. So this is specifically for the 6th edition of Car Wars. And Car Wars is a game where you are, the right of way on the freeway doesn't necessarily go to the fastest car, it goes to the car with the biggest guns. Players choose your vehicle, complete with weapons, armor, power plant, suspension, body style. Then they take them out on the road to either come home as aces or to crash and burn. So, yeah, you're fighting other cars, you're racing around the board, that sort of stuff. What I'm talking about right now, this orange and purple set, is everything you need for 2 people to play the game. This is a starter set for 2 players. So it's got 2 miniatures, 2 car bases, 2 dashboards, all of that sort of stuff. And just so you know, the 6th edition, they say, plays faster, includes new plastic miniatures, updated components, all that sort of stuff. So if you want a dueling car racing game, this version literally plays 2 players in 60 to 120 minutes. So if you've been wanting to get into Car Wars, here's a 6th edition starter set. WizKids is releasing Super Skill Pinball Harley Quinn Ball. They have done a number of versions of this Super Skill Pinball game, and it is a solo or can play up to 4 players in about 45 minutes. It's a roll and write game, but they really do a good job making it feel like pinball. You are rolling dice and then moving a pinball up to the top of the board and sort of moving the pinball down the board and crossing off stuff as you move down the board based on the dice numbers that you have rolled. And so once you get to the bottom, you can cross off a number there to shoot the ball back up to the top, and then it's going to come down. And so, every version of the game has different themes, has different features that will play in sort of slightly different ways and allow you to cross off things in slightly different ways. If you are a fan of, pinball at the arcade, I really think you'll like this because I was impressed how good of a job they did making it feel like actual pinball. I'm not a huge solo gamer. This is one of the few games, Super Scope Pinball, that I regularly play solo. Especially, I have the elf version, so I like to play it during December, Christmas time and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite Christmas-themed games. You can play it with multiple players, and there's not a ton of player interaction. You are interacting off of the dice that have been rolled, but you're each doing your own thing on your own board. But again, if you like pinball stuff, it's a really fun pinball game. This version obviously is DC themed with Harley Quinn and stuff like that. So there's going to be different challenges out on the board, different ways to cross off stuff, different ways to keep your ball alive. So that's what I got for you this month. That was like 24 games that are coming to retail in the month of August that are based on like previous games that are out there. Thanks so much for being here. I always appreciate you liking, subscribing, sharing these videos and everything like that. You are always welcome to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/GrantsGameRex. And please check out my new Dry Bar comedy special, Silly Mustache Man. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm excited for everybody to check it out. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex.